Yes.
I'll let you do that afterwards. I can't do that. But
Yeah.
let me just move it to drama going. Talk to you. Is Johnny okay? Oh, okay. I was gonna call you and talk to you about this, but Mary Jane.
Joe's supposed to get back with me about that meeting too. I think it was
all these places around that getting paid. Yes. Yeah, I think I said, I don't know.
Joe.
Oh,
In October.
yep. He told me.
Five into your house and get you out. I'll come find you somewhere.
Yeah.
October.
Make him do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll do it.
A cleanup day or a cleanup fee?
And that's
A week.
Oh, week. Yeah.
It shouldn't take long, should it? Shouldn't take long. I'll be back out there at 2:30.
Okay, you're off.
You hear that?
Monday. That's good.
So Monday. Yeah. Where? I started gathering and I saw that.
Reached out to me about the city hall.
Oh, yeah.
Would anybody else like to sign up for unscheduled public appearance?
Well,
All right, how you doing?
they did. Good.
How you doing?
Gonna come around.
Go this way.
Okay, that should get bad on. Bad on. I got this on here behind me. Bad on. I know the people. But I was doing it.
Wow, please.
I didn't know if you knew that.
Excuse me now?
Would you like to sign up for unscheduled public appearance? Would anybody else like to sign up for unscheduled public appearance?
Give me more. You moved in now.
Cold?
Like where I'm going.
All right, everybody ready? Like to call the City of Wagoner regular business meeting at 7 p.m. September 3rd, 2024. Go ahead.
Item number 1 is the invocation.
We have Mr. Luke Henderson here from Hillcrest First Baptist Church.
Lord, we just come before you, Lord, this evening, God, we just invoke your presence here tonight, God. We just ask you, Lord, that you would be with us, God, that you would help us direct this meeting, God, in a way that would be honoring to you. We just ask it in Jesus' name.
Tony? Go ahead.
Pledge allegiance.
Item number 3, consider approval of minutes, August 5th and 20th, 2024.
So made.
Second.
Have a second motion? Please call the roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
North, Butler,
Yes.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Item number 4, consider approval or denial of claims for August 2024 to include numbers 22 through 38, EMS to include number 15 through 27, Economic Development Fund, numbers 5 through 6, Cemetery Reserve Fund, number 1.
On the 25-02045, what vehicles does that all include for 17?
Can we speak in the microphone, please? Thank you.
25-02045. What vehicles does that include?
What department are you in?
Non-departmental? First one.
Non-departmental, okay. Are you talking about the fuel man?
Yes, mm-hmm.
That's every city department. That's going to be police, fire, streets, anything that's under.
And then the ones under fire and police and all that, they still got a fuel man charge? Because I see, I add them all up on it.
The non-departmental is encumbered from the prior year. So we put it back in the prior year and it's charged to that code, and it puts them in non-departmental.
Okay. Also, I see it was charged to the museum for digital camera, but it was shipped to Jessica. So is that charge was supposed to be corrected to the
No, that
museum?
camera is for the museum.
Okay,
To take pictures of the items to put them in the inventory.
okay.
They were just doing it on a phone, I think.
Okay, and then also I see where we purchased 3 chairs. Was there something wrong with the old chairs?
Yes, ma'am. They were falling apart. They were about probably 10 to 12 years old for the most part.
Miranda's Cake Shop, the Park Department, 25-02207, 119 to Miranda's Cake House.
That was for the appreciation dinner for Christmas. We have each year we have an appreciation dinner for the people that just played the Christmas.
Is that what your dinner you cooked?
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, we sold over $4,000 worth of new Christmas displays at that meeting too.
Good deal. Good deal.
Good job. Okay, citywide, what was that one? Okay, where is it? Okay, citywide property maintenance, I thought we was bidding on that. Last time I heard, we was going to be putting that out for bid for abatement service. It wasn't going to be just them only, we was going to bid out for other people. And next thing I know, this is the second month I saw them on there.
We did send those out, well, they were the lowest, even though the prices did go up this year,
So they,
but they were still the lowest.
okay, so this bid for this 3,800 is in my package
No, this is for the entire year, the mayor was the one that selected that quote.
for 3,800, okay?
No, for the contract for the year.
I thought I was going to be bidded out for that.
We got the quotes. I believe it was under the 25,000.
Okay. I need to go back and reread that. Okay. Guess that's it till I get down farther.
Okay.
Thank you.
Further discussion?
I have a question. On several of the departments, it has a $7.46 card.
Can you speak into the mic?
Sorry. On several of the departments, it has a $7.46 card service. What is that?
That is our Amazon renewal for our Amazon account for the year, and it's split between all of the departments.
Okay.
Yeah, for our Amazon account, Amazon Prime account.
That's all.
Further discussion? Entertain a motion? Oh, go ahead.
I got one more. On the museum, Department 75, there's a $1,400 charge for James Cobb. What's that?
We bought out his collection,
Okay.
and there was some things in it. The price was higher, but he had some duplicated items. So Royal, which is our new lead at the museum, him and Laura went over that. And so what was duplicate, we did not purchase, and that's why the price was lower. I believe it was around, was it 16 something?
It was up to around 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had, several.
But it was a very nice collection of Wagner history, and we were very glad to add it.
That's it.
Further discussion? Entertain a motion?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Wright,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Item number 5 is the mayor's report.
We will start out with employee of the month. First off, we have Ms. Andrew Williams.
Andrea is a dispatcher and jailer at the police department. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Our other one is Wesley Parrish, Public Works. And they will make it.
We'll get his picture later.
Okay. Met with Dwayne and Larry today. We're gonna have a meeting next week with Joe Gordon and Renee Shaver. They're actually wanting the city to kind of take over the Martin Luther King project, but still be very involved. They believe if they could have a city account, they would get more donations with a tax write-off. Also last month, me, Dwayne, and Jessica met with ODOT about, was that streetscape? Or what, Bill Grant? And this was pretty important, especially after Sponjo Bob being hit and killed on North 69. It's gonna make track, kind of bicycle track, nice sidewalks all the way to 69, go just a tad north and down south, but ODOT did agree that we will be having a community meeting on that the public can voice their opinion. So this is where we will definitely need the public to show up for the stoplight in front of Brahms and Walmart. But it also included pedestrian walkways across 69, several things like that. So very excited about that. The Christmas light dinner, the appreciation was a great hit. Kelly cooked some really good burgers, had a good turnout. We also purchased a new train from a gentleman in Fort Gibson, Poor Boys Woodworking, to put down at Seymour Park. Kenneth and his guys went to Fort Gibson, picked it up, installed it. Looks fantastic. Very happy with it. Right now, I'm going to let Kenneth speak on. Brenda talked to me earlier about this, and I just figured it was better to have him explain it all. But he's going to talk about the trees downtown that we've cut down and when they're going to replace them. So go ahead, Mr. Peters.
Well, the trees are gonna be planted later in the fall. They don't have any trees with balls now, and so they have to wait for trees, they just 25 or below. That freezing temperature where the trees will be dormant, and then they ball them, and then they bring them to us and plant. And we have a email from the park with DOT that says they're gonna plant those trees. Questions?
Kenneth, are we planting them or the contractor planting them?
No, the contractor.
Why don't you go into detail, Mr. Peters, about with the pipe and the drainage and the watering of it?
Well, what happened, they put a new irrigation system in, and they drowned the trees. And our nursery person, Ray Wright, told them they were drowning them, and they come down here and thought they need to have more water, so they give them more water. So they killed all the trees except 2. And then they came back to us and wanted to get a cheaper tree, and of course we didn't go for that. We liked those trees that we got. So we got 2 out of the 18. There's 18 trees. Those trees were $1,800 a piece, and we paid our share on them, so I think we should get our money's worth. So.
Any questions on that? Appreciate it, Mr. Peters. Hey, Shane, would you put that, or take that mic from him? You can just set it there at the end, that's fine. Next, I want to talk about something. I know there's going to be some members on the council that disagree with it, but effective immediately, I am going to disband the park committee. We have 3 counselors on there. Those counselors can still talk to those citizens and share their input. It started out fantastic. You know, that one night I spoke to y'all about the battles, and we lost that battle. It did not end very well, but we've came a long way, made great success, and we're going to continue to do it. Last but not least, it's a big week for Wagoner, and we got Coweta coming Friday. So, yeah, sick 'em dogs. So, hope everybody that's watching, as many as you all that can make it, will be out there Friday night to support our Bulldogs. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Item number 6, hold a public hearing to declare the property located at 112 North Prairie dilapidated as it has become detrimental to the health, safety, and/or welfare of the general public, or take other action.
Good evening. So before we get started going through these, I'd like to tell you that, yes, sir? I'd like to tell you that we started out with 14 properties that we posted. Tonight, you're going to hear 4. We've worked with the property owners up until this afternoon to get them help and help them get arrangements to either fix it up, tear it down, or make other arrangements. Okay. So on the property located at 112 North Prairie, staff does recommend approval.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
Second.
Have a motion second. Please call the roll.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Item number 7, hold a public hearing to declare the property located at 207 Northwest 2nd dilapidated as it has become detrimental to the health, safety, and/or welfare of the general public.
Staff does recommend approval on this one as well.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Item number 8, hold a public hearing to declare the property located at 407 North Rice dilapidated as it has become detrimental to the health, safety, and/or welfare of the general public.
Staff does recommend approval on this one as well.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Sampson,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Item number 9, hold a public hearing to declare the property located at 310 North Blake Drive dilapidated as it has become detrimental to the health, safety, and/or welfare of the general public.
I would like to take no action on this as the owner has pulled a permit.
Item number 10, hold a public hearing to declare the property located at 204 South Fillmore Avenue dilapidated as it has become detrimental to the health, safety, and/or welfare of the general public.
I would like to take no action on this as well. The owner has pulled a permit.
Item number 11, hold a public hearing to declare the property located at 109 North Fillmore Avenue dilapidated as it has become detrimental to the health, safety, and/or welfare of the general public.
Staff does recommend approval.
So made. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
North. Item number 12, hold a public hearing to declare the property at 116 North Moss Avenue dilapidated as it has become detrimental to the health, safety, and/or welfare of the general public.
I'd like to take no action on this as the property owner has made their own arrangements.
Item number 13, hold a public hearing to declare the property located at 208 Southwest 4th Street dilapidated as it has become detrimental to the health, safety, and/or welfare of the general public.
I'd like to take no action on this as the property owner has made other arrangements.
Item number 14, consider accepting the quote and entering into a contract with Dirtworks LLC in the amount of $3,600 for the demolition of the structure located at 112 North Prairie Avenue, or take other action.
Staff would like to recommend approval.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Butler,
Yes. Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
I left out number 15. That's on me. Item 16, consider accepting the quote and entering into a contract with Five Star Demolition in the amount of $5,200 for the demolition of the structure located at 207 Northwest 2nd Street, or take other action.
Staff recommends approval.
Entertain a motion.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Item number 17, consider accepting the quote and entering into a contract with Steely Excavation in the amount of $3,200 for the demolition of the structure located at 407 North Rice, or take other action.
Staff recommends approval.
Entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion second. Please call the roll.
Leonard.
Yes.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Item number 18, consider accepting the quote and entering into a contract with Five Star Demolition in the amount of $2,850 for the demolition of the structure located at 310 North Blake Drive.
No action, please.
Item number 19, consider accepting the quote and entering into a contract with Steely Excavation in the amount of $6,700 for the demolition of the structure located at 204 South Fillmore Avenue, or take other action.
No action, please.
Item number 20, consider accepting the quote and entering into a contract with Dirtworks LLC in the amount of $2,975 for the demolition of the structure located at 109 North Fillmore Avenue, or take other action.
Staff recommends approval.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion second. Please call the roll.
Butler.
Yes.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 21, consider accepting the quote and entering into a contract with Dirtworks LLC in the amount of $4,750 for the demolition of the structure located at 116 North Moss Avenue, or take other action.
No action, please.
Item number 22, consider accepting the quote and entering into a contract with Steely Excavation in the amount of $2,500 for the demolition of the structure located at 208 Southwest 4th Street, or take other action.
No action, please.
Item number 23, consider payment of invoice number 23A03351-2 in the amount of $48,391.66, and invoice number 23A03351-5 in the amount of $13,700.56 from Garver LLC for Hefner Easley Airport Taxiway Rehabilitation Phase 2, or take other action.
This is the final invoices for the closeout of that, as the gentleman came to explain the whole project. So this is that final document.
Discussion?
Is this what a receipt for the fast foods goes on here?
I'm
That's
sorry.
phase 2? The receipt for McDonald's and Sonic on this goes with this?
No.
Or somewhere else?
No, that's not with this.
Okay.
It's possibly part of their backup documentation is possibly in there. I'd have to look. Let me look at it real quick.
Mayor, I've got to ask again. I'm sure people at home watching on TV would like to be able to hear. I'm sitting here in the room and I cannot hear what is being transpired.
Mr. Cobb, sir,
I'm sorry.
people are speaking in the microphone. I'm sorry.
I can't hear her and I'm sitting right here by her. I don't want to argue with you, Dalton, but in compliance with the American with Disabilities Act, it's a public forum.
Mr. Cobb, people are speaking in their microphones. We're not going to continue to have this. If you keep this up, you will be asked to leave.
That's no problem. Thank you.
Okay, that is their backup documentation for, like, their inspector, that is part of their, like, the backup documentation they sent for, like, the people. I guess they get reimbursed for food. I don't know. But that is part of the backup documentation they sent. It should be
Who
in
is they?
Garver. Garver sent this. It's for the inspector, their on-site inspector.
This is the 90-10 grant.
Well, I just wondering about the, like going to McDonald's or Sonic, that's the only thing I'm worried, like you received $12.51 tip, and then it was $9.04 to McDonald's, and it was $11.723. So I didn't know if this was the same thing or not.
So that was part of the second invoice that was done way back when. So the second invoice did not get put on council oversight. So that's included in this. That's why the date is so old on that. So going through our closeout documents, that was one of the ones that we're catching up on.
Mhm. That's mileage and meals, all that stuff that's turned in.
Further discussion? Entertain a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Butler,
Yes.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright,
No,
North.
Yes.
Item number 24, consider approval of work order for professional services number WAG-24-09, 2024 street rehabilitation in the amount of $71,000 from Infrastructure Solutions Group LLC, consulting engineers, or take other action.
Please make sure you speak in the microphone.
You should be a little taller.
Yeah.
Little council, this is for a work order for the 2024 street rehabilitation project. We've been working with staff to identify what the scope of work is. The total project would be right around $663,000. And my fee is based off of the fee curve, which is typical for the state.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made.
Got a motion?
Yes.
I made a motion.
Kevin?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Wright,
no,
Item number 25, consider accepting the bid and entering into a contract with Envision Civil Contractors LLC in the amount of $181,989 for WAG 23-06 Cassiver Drainage Project, cast-in-place concrete junction boxes, per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group LLC, consulting engineers, or take other action.
Council, this project was bid August the 29th. We had 5 contractors that checked out plans. We had 3 to submit bids. The lowest contractor was Envision Civil Contractors for $181,889.00. We worked with them before, actually in the community. We recommend awarding them the project.
Discussion? Entertain a motion.
So made. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Wright,
no,
Wagoner,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Item number 26, consider approval of resolution number 761, a resolution to rescind the award to D&D Ag Services LLC for the construction of pavilions at Lincoln and Dunbar Parks and to authorize re-advertisements for bids or take other action.
Council, August 14th, I received a letter from the contractor for the pavilions at the parks, and he withdrew his bid. Him and the building supplier had a miscommunication, if you will. He thought the price was for both buildings, and actually the price was for each building. And he relayed to me that he couldn't do the project without a substantial loss. So I don't know if we got a choice or not, but he did withdraw his bid.
So do we have to put it out for rebid, or can we award it to the next lowest bidder?
Put it out for rebid.
Because the specs aren't right. I mean, the specs are right, but they don't. it was only for-
Well, in his letter, he said it was just 3 people. I think he said, did he say that he only had 3 people working or something? Or something like that?
That was for the other project. As far as this project goes, the next bid, if I remember right, was
I think it was $169,000.
Yeah, 169.
I thought that next bid was like 70-something or 60, 80-something.
I'm sorry?
The next bid, the second best bid you had,
Mm-hmm.
how much was it?
About 169, if I remember right. It was over 100,000.
I remember that one, but
I think it was it was another one in there. I could sworn it was 80-something thousand.
There were a couple of other bids in there, but they didn't have any. It was over 100,000. Anything over 100,000 by the state requires a bid bond. They did not provide any bid security on their bids. So I had to throw 2 of the bids out because they did not meet the fair bidding laws.
Discussion? I feel like the best choice is to let them off the hook and rebid.
Well, I kind of knew that was going to happen when we said no more change of orders on this bid.
It's not so much a question of letting them off the hook. The statute provides that they forfeit the bid bond.
Hold on.
The statute provides that they forfeit the bid bond. In this case, there was no bid bond because the amount of the contract was under $100,000, bid bond not required. And it's limited to the amount of the bid bond, the forfeiture is. So, I mean, there isn't anything else to do. What we really need to do at this point in time, if we're going to rebid this, is to cancel this bid and this transaction and rebid it. And I'm not saying you need to do that, but if we're going to rebid it, then we need to cancel this transaction, so we can't rebid it. Right. And the other thing is that they have, and now this is a practical thing, and it's maybe not too legal, but I think it involved some consideration in the decision to do this, was that D&D was expressed an interest in rebidding it. Now, if we double their bid of $50,000, that's $100,000. That's still $70,000 cheaper than the next lowest bid. So, which is not to say that's going to happen, but that I think was part of the consideration for agreeing to let them withdraw their bid. We don't have the damages are nothing anyway. We just need to go on. That's my recommendation, that we do that.
My next question, because you mentioned it just a minute ago, you said that there were 2 that were discarded because they didn't meet the requirements of 100,000, but they were under the 100,000.
No, they were over the 100,000.
So you rejected them.
I reject them because they have to have
bid, yeah.
bid security on anything over 100,000.
Okay.
Further discussion?
And I can verify that, but there was a reason why they were not included in the bid. Either they didn't agree to the addendum or something.
Entertain a motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
North.
At this time, we will take a small recess at 7:37. Larry, if you need to leave, we'll wait.
Just a second.
Okay.
Might as well. Remember the drive-ins, he said, come on, deal over the concession stand. Remember the drive-ins, they had a recess, they had them going on the screen to go to the concession stand.
Teach me. Teach me to volunteer.
Sure did.
But I do have an interest in the city. Sure. And I'm trying to watch it just on TV. And I have the same problem, I listen to my church service.
Say the headphones.
I'll try and speak up.
I can't get my TV turned up in it loud.
It'll only go so unless they're something ridiculous, I'd probably be purchasing one. Might check that out. Oh, I don't. Well, she wasn't quite as loud. The rest of some of them.
Everything all right?
Thanks.
Huh. You all right?
Yep.
We're just waiting on Patrick.
Patrick, get in here.
I'd like to call the meeting back in session at 7:41. We were on the,
Item number 27, consider entering into a memorandum of understanding between the Cherokee Nation and the City of Wagoner for the improvement of the Lincoln Park recreation and water wastewater facilities or take other action.
you want to take this one, Wayne? This is about the agreement with Cherokees on the bathroom. Going to agree. I believe you said they would needed a sign up on it.
Yes. There'll be a sign up on the deal. This is for Lincoln Park for the bathrooms that are going in there from Cherokee Nation putting down. They're going to construction with them right now. Mike, I'm sorry. They're going through construction with them right now, and it'll be about 3 or 4 months before it gets installed. So probably mid-February roughly, we should have bathrooms installed out at Lincoln Park. With the placement, we went out there, had it staked and located and all that. They just need to do the proper paperwork right now with the city council and the mayor's signature and all that. So that's what this agenda item's for.
Discussion? Entertain a motion.
So made.
Have a motion second. Please call the roll.
Butler?
Yes.
Abernathy?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Wagoner?
Yes.
Sampson?
Yes.
North?
Yes.
Higginbottom?
Yes.
Item number 28, consider approval of resolution number 762, a resolution adopting amendments to the budget of the City of Wagoner, Oklahoma for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025, to include supplemental appropriations available from revenue received from unanticipated resources and to correct a clerical error.
Any discussion?
I'll move.
Second. Have a, excuse me, have a first, second, please call the roll.
Abernathy?
Yes.
Butler?
Yes.
Higginbottom?
Yes.
Leonard?
Yes.
Wagoner?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Sampson?
Yes.
North?
Yes.
Item number 29, consider authorization of the preparation of a trust indenture creating the Wagoner Development Authority, with the beneficiary being the City of Wagoner and the trustees being the mayor and members of the City Council of the City of Wagoner, or take other action.
Kim, do you want to speak right now? Okay. Any discussion?
I agree in some form or fashion on this, but until we understand what is the purpose of the WIDA, it's hard for us to grasp.
Economic development.
I know, but Wagner Economic Development, it hasn't been an economic development,
That's why we're wanting to do away with it.
Yes, because all I see when I go to meetings is that they're giving away money,
Well, I think,
which is good
you know,
and dandy.
I feel like it's run its course. Tony Lowe was retired, able to give so much time of it.
Yeah.
Since I've been mayor, it's been nothing but a revolving door. And a lot of people do not have the time to put into that thing for what it takes. If we do it like this, I would actually be giving up power, as how it is right now, is that I appoint them. So if we do it this way, I know lots of people, even in a previous election, felt this way, that the mayor should not have the power to appoint. The people vote on that. They vote for our police chief, our mayor, our councilors, clerks. So if we do it this way, the citizens of Wagner will not only vote their board members for public works, city councilors, but it's putting it back in our citizens' hands with the right people to represent it. Plus, I'll add this too. I believe that it'll be a lot easier for the city to hire another full-time employee than for we to go ahead and do that. I mean, they don't have the insurance set up, workman's comp, all those things. It would be nothing for us to add another employee.
And who's gonna manage and do all the counting for it and all that stuff?
The city. I mean, it'll be just how the city's run, but we will have a full-time.
Please.
We will have, oh my gosh. We will have the city clerk, treasurer, they will maintain the deposits, all those things. And then we'll have a economic development director. The way I plan to do it is it'll be the same nights as our council meetings. We'll start with that, then go into our city council meeting, and then finish with public works like we do already.
So you're saying once this is approved, we take it over?
Mike, please.
Once this is approved and we take it over, your plan is to hire an economic development director?
Yes.
Are we gonna get more than a weekend to vet this person, or we just get 2 or 3 days like normal?
No, it'll be a normal job. I mean,
No, I
like a
get that,
7 to
but
3 and
what I'm saying is that we get our agenda packets on a Friday, okay? This is a very important position in my eyes. I would like to get at least 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a month, to vet this individual that we hire.
I don't know that that's.
2 or 3 days is not
possible.
enough to vet an individual at all.
But you got to think, it's not going to be, they're going to come and say, hey, we're bringing in someone like Yanarco.
No, I get that.
We need to vote on that tonight. I mean, it's going to be, hey, I've engaged with this person, they're looking for this amount of land, and moving forward like that. It'll be phases.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is that if we're gonna appoint a director of economic development, okay, like what your plan is, and that's fine. But me personally, I don't know about anybody else, I would like more than 3 days to talk to this person, find out what their background is, and, you know, vet this person. It's just to me, economic development is is very, very important. And to have a director of economic development, I would like more than 3 days to vet this person.
Well, if we hire them
And-
through the city, then the HR will be involved, I would
Correct.
assume.
Correct.
It'd be like hiring.
I get that, but we don't get,
Yeah, I understand.
we're not told who this person, is
Well-
gonna be usually until we get our agenda packet
Yeah.
on
Well, just
Fridays.
on, when we've hired, different resource, city planners over the years and other key positions like that.
Understand.
It wasn't no 3-day deal.
Right.
It took several days. But I don't have I can't say how long they were, but
Right.
it was a week or plus.
We're trying to hire a shop manager right now, and we started on that probably 2.5 months ago.
And that's fine. I mean, but there's a big difference between a director of economic development and a shop manager. That's a big difference. I'm just asking.
You'd be
can
surprised how
you-
much the shop does.
Okay, well, I'm just asking, can you commit to giving us more than 3 days to vet this individual that you hire?
I don't know necessarily. We make the agenda. I mean, are you wanting to be in the hiring process?
I'm wanting to know I'm wanting to know who you plan on hiring more than 3 days in advance. I want to have more than a weekend to call this individual, maybe meet with them, okay, and find out what what they bring to the table as an economic development director. That's all I'm asking.
I mean,
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
it would just be on the interviews and when we decide.
understand.
Sit in some interviews.
Yeah,
If I'm able to, I will.
I
and that's
mean,
fine.
that
I
would
mean,
be,
we've done it before. I mean,
yeah, I mean.
And that's fine.
This is how
Right.
we've
well, that's what I mean.
always
If
had
you're,
this hiring
if you're
process.
involved in if we're involved in the interviews,
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll be right.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But if I'm not able to, I'm just asking
Well,
for more
yeah, I
than 3
understand.
days.
I can't promise.
well, I mean,
If we decide to hire that person on Tuesday and we make the agenda on Wednesday, we don't want to wait a month. And we hire people all the time that actually come to work for the city before we approve of them.
And I understand that.
once, and two, I'm thinking, once they figure somebody of high interest,
Right.
well, they don't go meet, that's, it depends on when the meeting is. So we've got all that time.
I just think this is a very important position.
Well, it is.
And I want to
Agreed.
put the right person in there. And,
I don't know why it would take a month to 3
well,
weeks.
I'm just throwing numbers out. I mean,
Well, this is a very serious thing. I don't know why you would just throw numbers out.
So okay. I say a month because that's.
How much time would you like, Kevin?
A couple weeks at least.
Once again, I cannot promise that. It would just depend on when the interviews fall. I don't want to make them wait 6 weeks for the next following council meeting. It would just depend.
Well, I'm just asking for a little communication on this aspect of it.
And we told you, you're more than welcome to sit in on some interviews.
Absolutely.
Okay, may I speak?
Yeah.
That's good, okay. So, I mean, I've talked to a couple of municipal government, or other places, and they do their economic development like this, and obviously there's other ways they do it as well, other municipalities, but I feel like that this is a good way to go, but my only concern is right now that actually our economic development is not defined. And what I mean by that is the fact that we put money into an account to do, we want small businesses, we want other companies coming here to create jobs and revenue, but it's just kind of, from what I've seen, not saying anything bad about the people that have done it before, but it seemed like, hey, we're going to give this person X amount of dollars to bring in businesses, but then it doesn't happen. And then we go and we do something else. Well, it's not defined, and we have to define economic development before we go any further trying to put a director in here. Also, I know we have a city comprehensive plan, but do we have an economic development comprehensive plan to see where we're going to go from this point? So I just feel like that we don't know that yet. That's why the things have been happening the way they've been happening, with the not per se the board, but just they didn't have any direction. And I don't want to take a job if I don't know the job description. And that's why I feel like that this is where we're at right now, because we don't know what we're going to be doing. We don't have a clear plan of where we're going to be, what we want to do for our community or economic development. But I think that's the right way to go. But I don't know the job description before. I don't want to say yes to something without knowing what I'm doing.
Well, we're putting together the trust. And then if you wanted to, we would be creating the trust. So,
No, that part I understand. I mean, I understand that because
I mean, that's
obviously
where you could define it.
Well,
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands that the motion is to authorize the preparation of a trust indenture. Let's call that a trust agreement. It is not the adoption of the trust. It's not the creation of the trust. It's not the acceptance of the beneficial interest in the trust. It's merely to draw up a proposed trust indenture to bring back to you guys to get approved.
so with that being said, can those things be defined by that next time we do that?
The purpose of the trust will be defined. Now, you have as much input as you have in that definition. Typically, trust indentures are very broadly written. We can write it narrowly if you wish. That is not the modern way of doing things. And I don't care one way or another, of course. It doesn't matter to me. But we just get you an agreement to look at, and if you want to change it, then you'll have hopefully all time to give input in the ways you want it changed. I don't know if I may not be making myself plain, but we're not adopting a trust here. We're not creating one. We are creating an agreement, but we're not adopting that agreement. We're not creating the trust, and we're not accepting the beneficial interest. And once you get the agreement, you can examine the agreement, make changes in the agreement.
So you're saying this is just to allow you to draw up the papers?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
That makes sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just didn't want to do all this work if nobody is interested in having the city council be the members of the Economic Development Authority. Be the trustees, I'm sorry, of the Economic Development Authority, then there's no sense going through all that work to do that. That's a substantial amount of work.
Right.
Can I ask one person a question? Because I know they helped create this Wagoner Economic Development, their ancestors back in the past, and that would be Ms. Mallett. You know, they created this WIDA back in the day. Yes, your mother, yes. And
That was first created, the original version of it when UNARCO was coming to town. That was required. So, members were actually from the community. They were established business people who would know what the UNARCO was talking about. And at that time, interesting point, and maybe it's not true now, the important thing was that the trust was separate from the council because they needed to be able to act independently in the definition of being a trust. And that may not be what's going on nowadays, you know, that was a long time ago. And there are established definitions of what that entails and all that, and you might look at the ones that are in existence now. But I know they changed through the years. They did change through the years, and they did bring industry, and they purchased land, and they accomplished a lot of things. And I think maybe looking at the history of that would help you know what you want to do, you know, and use it as a resource. But yes, does that help you, or does that tell you kind of what you want to know?
yeah, a little bit.
Okay, go ahead and answer.
Thank you.
more. I'm full of information. You know, I always have an opinion, right?
I have a question. Coming back into the council, the 10 years I was here before, I know the Development Authority met different places and everything. What's wrong with what we got now? I mean, is the system broken? I'm coming into something I have no clue about.
I'll be honest, I feel like the current weed has run its course. You go to the county, have a full-time employee that's running and gunning, chasing businesses, and we don't have the funds that the county has. Now, they want to work with us all they can, but another thing is that before WIDA can do something with a business, most of the time they have to come to the council to get the council's approval.
Yeah, I don't see that being a problem because as far as, like I said, I don't have a problem with us being the board of trustees because the fact we were voted in by the people, so if they feel like they don't entrust us to do the job, then we probably shouldn't be voted in. So but I feel like again, my only concern is having it defined and also making sure that we have some type of a plan of what we're going to go, what we're trying to seek, chasing, the small business or smaller industry. Everybody wants a Google, but we're not going to get a Google here because infrastructure, our power grid, all these things that matter to them before they come in. So we just need to have a better understanding of what we're wanting to do. And yeah, but those things to me have to be defined before I feel like that it's good enough for me to say I'm on board with, accepting a job without the description of it. So
maybe after you draw the plans up and everything, and maybe we might can look at it because we have not.
You're not understanding the
we
motion.
haven't-
This
mean,
is giving
okay,
permission to
okay,
draw up the plans.
Okay, I mean, that's what I meant, something similar to that. I mean, draw up the plans and we look to see what the plans are because actually, the WIDA has never came to the council when they spend money. They just spend the money. I have never voted on anything that WIDA done. Like I just been to the meetings and they vote on something and the money's gone.
But you're missing the point there.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's because it was a separate trust. They were independent of the city. That's why they were allowed to spend their own funds. And they did have economic development people through the years, and there's probably something you young people didn't remember, but they did do that when they were very active. So that's why I'm saying, look at what they had, that if you're gonna do it yourself, that might help you understand where you need to go with it, and how you wanna structure it.
When-
Now, you don't want to, you may not wanna do it that way. There's somewhere to start.
The city comes involved when, if the WIDA, which originally was an industrial authority, it wasn't economical, it was industrial, but we switched it years ago to economic, and that included, Burger King and what have smaller entities. But the city's part was WIDA could not borrow any money. They could not go in debt unless the city council approved it. But as far as, yes, that's why the trust is made, so they have their own money to do, supposedly, and which we did for years, economic development. And that's the deal, but that gives them reign over which is, considering the budget, it was never extreme. Well, at one time, it was over $1 million. But like I said, as far as the city's role is, they couldn't go in debt, they couldn't incur any kind of debt without the city's approval.
Utilities, things of that nature.
Yeah. But,
Right.
The Wagoner Public Works Authority is a public trust. And this is not modeled after that, but it's the same genre of things in that it will be a public trust. And with the city council being the members of the trust, just like the Wagoner Public Works Authority. Again, I mean, I'm not saying you want to do this or don't want to do it, not recommending it or not recommending it or not recommending it. I'm just trying to explain better what it is. So if the Wagoner, if you don't like, that's maybe too broad a statement, but if you're not satisfied with the way the Wagoner Public Works Authority is, then you might not be, being a public trust with the members being city council, then you might not be satisfied with this. But this is modeled after or like the Wagoner Public Works Authority.
Further discussion? Entertain a motion?
so made.
Second.
Have a motion second. Please call the roll.
Butler.
Yes.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Item number 30, consider declaring 12 sets of bleachers for the park department and various sizes of packing materials for the stormwater project as surplus property and authorize disposal thereof or take other action.
Discussion?
What kind of material in the stormwater is going to be surplus?
It's some odds and ends of some, what is that? 24 inch or is it bigger than that, Thomas?
It goes from 24 to probably 36.
Odds and ends of pipe.
What they've done is they've brought loads of pipe and their loads wasn't square. They used these pieces of pipe to slide in there where straps would go all the way over. And when they unload
Further discussion?
Are those the bleachers over there by, across from the ball fields?
Or about softball fields? Yes.
Okay.
So, if I had a discussion with Coach Condit, and he was wanting them to fix up and put it at the softball field. But I talked to him the other day, and I'd already talked to our guys, and they said they were too far gone. So I believe what we're gonna try to do is scrap those and then buy 2 new sets of aluminum bleachers.
Mayor, I believe the rodeo grounds would like to have a conversation in that as well.
Okay,
on some
that's
of those
fine.
bleachers. So I got a phone call about it today.
That is just fine. Don't mind that at all. Anybody else care about that?
Rodeo grounds in Wagner here.
Yeah. And they might look at them too. I don't know how. Condit wanted them before he looked at them pretty good too, so.
I say if they get them, it's theirs.
Yeah.
Come and get them.
Any further discussion? Entertain a motion?
Second.
Have a motion, second. Please call the roll.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Abernathy,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Item number 31, consider approval of resolution number 763, a resolution establishing the permitted use of city-owned or leased vehicles, or take other action.
We have 2 unscheduled public appearances pertaining to this matter that are going to speak right now. Ms. Wisnett?
Jim, let me know if you can't hear me. Can you hear me?
Not through my
Okay,
back here.
okay. Mayor, thank you for this opportunity to speak. You haven't read the resolution, but I've had a little preview of it, and that's what I want to address today. Let me give you a little background. Those of you who don't know me, I first came onto the city council at age 34. I served in wards 1, 2, and 3 over about a 30-year span. And so I've served on different committees. I've been the budget committee chairman. I was on the committee that actually interviewed and recommended to the council to hire the position held by Mr. Dwayne Elam. The resolution, as I read it, perhaps I'm reading between the lines, but I've done this a long time and I can read between the lines pretty well. The resolution states distance that someone is allowed to drive their vehicle from work. It does count for some people who this doesn't matter for: emergency personnel, fire, police, EMTs. I would like to suggest this. Mr. Elam's position is also someone who is on call 24/7. He is a salaried person, and he is required to follow through, and he's proven that through the years. 18 years ago, I was on the council, and I was part of a committee who had other council members. That's the way we used to do those things. We interviewed a number of candidates, and we recommend to the council who we thought they should hire. And after that, they vetted the person. We all agreed that Dwayne Elam was our best choice at that time. We saw a lot of potential in the young man. We felt he had the personality that he needed, the leadership abilities, and the education, which, if I remember correctly, hinged a lot on environmental issues, which are very important this day and age. When we decided, and the council agreed, that we wanted to hire Mr. Elam, we couldn't afford the salary people were getting paid for that position at the time. We, as a council, offered him the opportunity to, a part of his package B, that he could take his vehicle home. Another condition that we agreed to: he lives on property that his family has owned for generations, and we didn't feel it was necessary to invite him to come to Wagoner because we found out through time going on that never made a difference. He was here. A few weeks after coming to work in Wagoner, he was here for more than a week in the big ice storm we all talk about. He didn't go home. His family was in ice as well. So my problem is, the resolution that's presented on this agenda as well as Public Works tonight is a backwards way to do something I think some of you are trying to do. And that is that you're not happy with Mr. Elam's performance. If that's the case, may I suggest when it's time for him to have his evaluation annually that you address these things with him and give him an opportunity to correct them. This is a backwards and unfair way to try to do something which is pretty obvious that's what's going on. I would appreciate it if you just be fair and consider what you want to do in the right way. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Ms. Paula Templeton.
Thank you. I have not read the resolution, but I have been contacted by many people about the resolution. And I basically would say the very same things that Mary Jane said. When we did interview Dwayne, he said he was willing to learn, get all the license needed. He did a great job. I'm proud of what Dwayne's done. I've seen him be here at midnight, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, I've been there to see him and know he does come in the city vehicle, and that was the reason that we gave him that opportunity. We didn't have the money to pay somebody to do what he was doing at the time. We had other candidates, but they wanted more money. So that was our only way to handle the position, to pay him, was to give him the vehicle to drive home. I don't know that he's ever abused it. I see him with GRDA. He's on their board. He is on MISO. And you have another one, I think. I haven't talked to you, but you serve on a... Right. So he's a good representation for the city of Wagoner when he attends those. I've never heard anything negative about his work, and I think his employees respect him. And if that is what you're doing, I agree with Mary Jane, find another way to do it. But I don't think you can find an employee at his salary, and he did not ask us to do that when we hired him. That was a council's decision. So Dwayne had nothing to do with the vehicle. That was our choice. And he has come every time he's needed. So I respect him, and I respect your all's decisions, but I would appreciate your consideration of what I'm saying. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Paula. Sorry, Mr. Jennings, you didn't sign up.
Did not allow me some, a little bit of respect and let me make a public comment. I didn't know exactly what the procedure was for signing up at the time. But professional courtesy, let me make a quick comment.
I wish I could, but I hate to open this up to where absolutely everybody would want the same thing.
I don't know that anybody else made that request.
Well, I'm sorry. We have these unscheduled public appearances that you have to fill out. Any further discussion?
So it, on this right here, it talks about 30 miles within City Hall. Why City Hall and not the city limits?
It puts, well, I think
The reason I say that is because the address of City Hall can change. The city limits is not gonna change.
City limits can change.
city limits can
Absolutely.
change. It's annexed. But I guess the main thing is, I mean, just like any other company, if you have a mileage agreement, they will say to your home or and to work, home and work. So I mean, City Hall would be the best place to go from there, and you draw a line to wherever direction you go, and then it's 30 miles. So I think that right there is, it's appropriate for it to be City Hall, because that's where, it just seems like that's very appropriate.
Well, I'm assuming this is for future hires?
No, this would be
It's for-
in effect for everything.
It says 30 miles, like, for the police department, like, if they live 30 miles, like, from here, because I know when we signed the enterprise agreement contract, it was 15 miles for the police cars. And then now we in Muskogee, 4 Mile Branch, past Coweta, Tulsa, everywhere. And I know me and Haley was talking about that, and he said, would you go 20 miles, one way?
So how we came about 30 miles is I called Bob and asked him what he would recommend. And he said it needed to be 30 miles.
Because we're the highest of any town, 30 miles.
Can I say something, Mayor?
Go ahead.
We're not, Tahlequah, miles go from, if you're Cherokee County city limits, if you join Cherokee County, if their line goes to your county, then whatever your county is, they can take their vehicles, and you look at Cherokee County and go as far as they go. That's where Tahlequah PD or Tahlequah City takes their vehicles. And just, while I'm saying something, if I can, is we lost an officer 2 weeks ago because of that. And like Miss Mary Jane and everyone was saying, is because our salary, we do what we can. And that officer, you can't fight him because he needs to go where he could get to work. That 30 miles for, what is it, of course, gas, $2 or something cents a gallon. Most vehicles, our trucks go from 15 to 20 miles to the gallon that we burn. That's kind of what you kind of got to look at also in saying that, can you go 21 miles, can you go 25 miles? Because it takes a lot to find someone to get certified, to get hired when we have the nation, other agencies around that pays a whole lot more than us. And if we're looking at, $2 or $3 a mile to go. I mean, I understand 50 miles, 40 miles, stuff like that. That's, kind of pushing it. But 30 miles, 35, whatever that might be, that's working with your employees. Like they were saying earlier when they was with Mr. Elam, is we didn't pay enough, and we still don't. But we have people that want to come work for the city of Wagoner in our departments, not just police department or whatever. And 30 miles or whatever, pushing it.
Do they use City Hall or city limits?
They use city limits, from city limits to city limits. It's what, like I say, Tahlequah PD, I call myself and talk to several different agencies. And several different agencies, 25 is what they come up with. And like I said, it's just all in what you want. I mean, you can try to find officers that, just coming in to be the police or coming in to do certain jobs, but you get good certified people that you want to keep here. And you got to work with them some way. And that's the only way that we've seen fit, is to try to use that as something to retain and recruit. And if we can't do that, then we don't have the people. Like I said, I went 2 years not being able to find an officer to work our streets. I've got an SRO officer that all the schools love. He's works at Ellington and P. He's great, and he's trying to move to Wagner, but he's got 5 kids. His wife's in nursing school, so he drives to Tulsa. He stays with his mom, so he's selling the house, so he wants to move here. But I don't want to lose him if he can't drive his patrol car home to get to and from work. They're not driving to the stores and stuff like that and getting stuff. They're going to and from home and everything, but that's something you might want to look at also.
I know I called Claremore's 25 miles. I talked to Coweta's 25 miles. I talked to Muskogee, 7 miles from the courthouse. I called Fort Gibson. I think theirs is 25 miles, he told me. I had a whole list of the towns that I called.
No disrespect,
And
Ms. Gayla, but you go and look at those agencies that you just named off, and you look and see what they pay their officers to work.
it's not about the pay. I look at it that you got to look at it, an ideal person out here. They making $20 an hour. They driving all the way to Tulsa to work to make some money. They have to pay for their insurance, their dental, their gas, their vehicle. And they got to come back here and pay for electric, water, light, and everything else on it. So we also got to look at other people as well. Plus, they come in here to pay the taxes on groceries and stuff so we can pay our people. So we got to look at every angle that there is to look at.
Whenever you spoke to these municipalities, did you ask them what they do with their city manager as far as a take-home bid or anything like
I wasn't discussing about city manager, I was talking about police,
Well,
but, you know.
let me, I'd like a question here. Is an electric outage an emergency? Mr. Elam is the director of the electric department, Wagoner Public Works. In my opinion, his vehicle is an emergency vehicle. He's on call 24/7. And even if he's out of town, he's on the phone. I've been on the phone with him when he's been out of town. He's over the electric department. Anyway, I just feel that he should be listed right here along with the fire chief, assistant fire chief. And 30 miles, I don't know if that's good or bad. What's the mileage to your driveway, Mr. Elam?
28.
Well, solves that problem.
Also, Mr. Elam brings a lot more than just director of that. He gives us information that we can use all the time from all the other things that he does. Yeah, he's worth more than what we pay him. And he knew when he came, we was in a bind, and he worked with us, and I think we should work with him. He's not asking for anything. We need to be doing something for him anyway. That's my opinion.
Shane, you have something to say?
Yeah, and I apologize. I keep going back to when I was here before.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But I got this book sometime Friday evening, Friday night. You've been here 18 years, Dwayne? Well, 10 of those years I was on the board. And you know, I sat here and approved him driving that truck home because I didn't know right from wrong. I'm not going to tell you I'm for him driving that truck. I'm not going to tell you I'm against him. But you go back to Higginbottom. A while ago, he said, I want more than 2 or 3 days to vet this person. This is a big decision to make, getting a book Friday night, close Saturday, close Sunday, close Monday. And here we are going to vote on it. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm for it. I'm not saying I'm against it. But I had no time to contact, apparently Gala did, some other towns. Yeah, you go downtown, you'll get you an earful about Dwayne Elam, how much he makes, how about how he drives a truck home. Hear it all the time. But you know what? I fall back into, I supported this for 10 years of him driving that truck. And if I'm going to sit here and vote, in my terms, to clip his wings, I want to have my ducks in a row. And I'd like to have more than a Friday and 3 days of a holiday for me to look into some things. I'd like to call and compare his wages. Don't know for sure who I call, but I'll get on the phone. I'd like to find out about the vehicle. I just feel guilty of me supporting something or voting on something that I know I did this for 10 years, sitting right there in that seat, and I voted yes every time it come to him doing something. I just want some more time before I make a decision. I want to do some research. All I have is a book that I got Friday evening with a resolution right there. That's all I know about this. I don't even know what's going on. Do I think I know what's going on? Yes. And I just want everybody in this room to understand. I'm not telling you I'm for it, not telling you I'm against it. But I would sure like to look into it before Shane North votes. And I'm talking about Resolution 763. Now, last time I was here, WPWA was always something different, but Dwayne's name's thrown up in the city side of things here. I didn't even know we're doing that. So, I voiced my opinion. I'd like to research it a little bit, have a little bit of time. Even if you had to table this deal.
So Shane, all I said is this, I had time today, this afternoon, to call five different municipalities, okay? 3 out of the 5 said that they give their city manager a vehicle to take home. The other 2 gives their city manager what they call a vehicle allowance. Okay? Obviously, it's not in our budget to do that.
Speak in the microphone.
I had the time today to call 5 different municipalities, okay? Stillwell, Broken Bow, Shoto, Grove, and Manford. Okay, all similar to Wagoner. 3 out of those 5 allowed their city manager to take a vehicle home. Okay, the other 2 allowed for a vehicle allowance. Okay.
But did you ask them what they get paid?
No, they didn't
The
have
pay
time
could've been
to
different.
look at payroll and all that. I was at work and I just did it on my lunch break. I didn't have a whole lot of time to get payroll and all that.
You know, 18 years ago, I guess there's no contract.
No.
No.
I don't guess there's not even nothing documented in writing. Could we go back and listen to the minutes and see what we agreed on?
I've been told it was an executive session when they hired him, so.
That's never interfered with Wagner repeating things outside this building.
You've got a point there.
But, I don't know. I just like to,
Only thing I remember is when he got hired, I remember reading the paper, he had 6 months to move to Wagoner. And that 6 months never happened. Well, maybe we can look in the archives, because I remember seeing it in the paper, and I didn't even know him. So, you know. It was somebody.
I don't know what you remember. There's been other things, some other people perhaps in the past were that way.
One more thing I want to ask. What is the $30 given on a check and $30 taken out of a check on gas? What is that? Somebody got a problem back there?
It is an IRS
Will you speak in the
guideline.
mic?
It is an IRS guideline that's required for commuting. It's $1.50 one way and $1.50 returning. What that does is increase an employee's taxable income and make them IRS compliant.
Because that's something we just started,
We've been doing that for a long time.
just for out-of-towners.
Yes. Yes.
Well, it's added on, like we add that.
We add the 30 on,
It's
and it take the
not
30 out, so it's 0.
Well, yeah, it net zero on you add $30, and then the deductible is $30. But what it does is raise your gross income by $30, so you're taxed on all the other things.
So they pay on their taxes.
Yes, it's a
Not on-
taxable
Not on their regular
benefit,
check.
taking your car home.
But,
And that's standard in, like, most businesses that have that. That is an IRS requirement, and it's standard. The IRS gave us that instruction when they came in and audited. They gave us that instruction.
It's called a commuting rule.
Further discussion?
I'll just say something real quick. So I'm, Mr. North, I'm kind of where he is with this, for the fact that there's a lot going on. We don't, just listening to the people out in the audience, just about for the fact that initially, whenever this was done, it was because it was about pay. We couldn't afford to pay him exactly what X amount of dollars. So this was more of an incentive of, yes, ma'am.
And also add to that, we actually wanted him over any other candidate. And have the money, the other people wanted more, but the reason
No, I get that.
Miss Mary Jane, you've
Well,
already given your time.
No, and I guess the other thing is, the only thing is setting a standard. I don't, do we have one already right now as far as the mileage back and forth and all that? Do we have that already implemented? We just said that, you know, Tahlequah does 25 and this and that. Do we have one? Do we already have something in place
For which department?
for all of the departments?
I don't know that we have one that governs all. I believe we may have something with the police.
Okay. Well, I guess the main thing is we don't have a standard, you know, as far as if it's 15 miles, if it's 25 miles, if it's 30 miles. We don't have anything like that to implement, so if this comes into question again, well, at least we could potentially have something in place. So, I don't know, that's just my take on it.
What would you like to do? Would you all like to table, take a motion? What would you like to do?
I think we should.
Let's vote.
I think we should table it.
I think we should table this motion to next month until you, as the mayor, is able to call the other towns around and ask them what they get, because they will tell you how much money they make. And if they drive vehicles home, I don't see what the problem is of a vehicle. I mean, if you got to buy one, you buy one. No big deal.
So the only one, I did call. Kawita did not want to just openly tell me that. Muskogee, me and that lady played phone tag. Pryor does not have one. Their mayor handles that. Tahlequah pays theirs $102,000. Their manager. No, I had HR pull it.
Now,
Yeah.
are this 102,000, is this a employee doing the city and WPWA in Tahlequah? Or,
So I asked Dwayne that earlier, and he told me that same person did both.
They do just Tahlequah Public Works Authority, that's Mike Doublehead, general manager.
I asked you that in my office. I said, I didn't ask you that.
Not that, not if they did both.
I asked you that exact I'm not gonna argue with you. You can call me a liar, I'll call you a liar. I asked that same question to Dwayne Elam today. He said they did the exact same. It's 102,000. That's for Tahlequah.
May I throw something out there as far as the salary part goes? As far as the salary part goes, 2 years ago, we did a rate study to try to get our employees into compliance what they should be paid. And we've done that and tried to do so accordingly. So as far as comparisons go, we've already paid for someone to do that.
That rate study,
I received a study from LML with Mike Fina, and I believe the average for a town our size was 120, 130.
and not on top of that, Pryor has way more money than Wagoner, and their raises wasn't across the board like we gave raises. They had, and overtime wasn't even there either. I listened to their city council meetings, and they didn't have straight, we're gonna put 10% or whatever, how we did it for overtime. It wasn't that away, because they couldn't do overtime because of the money. They was short on the money. They didn't do it like we did. And for each employee, they had an executive session, and they talked about each employee and how much they should give. Joe Blow may be doing the worst work in the world, and you got Mary Ann doing a lot more work, and then, but they both get the same amount of raise.
So you're saying it needs to be a performance,
Yes.
performance-based
Yes.
raise instead of just COLA should be what it should be, but then as far as everyone else, a performance-based. But we're getting to the other stuff. I get what you're saying.
to get back to 763,
Yes.
I don't even know what Mr. Elam makes. I don't know what nobody makes in the city. I've requested HR, and she is working on it. I want job descriptions and salaries for things like this, so we can, or so I can compare, because I don't know. I don't even.
I
when
spoke
call
to the mayor
Telequal,
that
when I-
hired Dwayne. I spoke to the mayor, it was Josh Hughes.
Okay,
His statement was, even though Miss Mary Jane said about his generational farm, he had 1 year to move to Wagner. That was the agreement. 1 year to move to Wagner. I don't know why our volunteers don't have a grass truck in their driveway. Yeah, I understand power's out, but unless you're on an oxygen machine, which we let you know that if you are, to contact the city, we'll make sure you have air. That is not a first responder's vehicle. There's several people that are sitting on this horseshoe that have been a first responder. Why don't our volunteers have grass strips in their driveways?
in order to let me gather up some more information that I feel like I need coming into this game new, I'm ready to make a motion.
So we have one interested in tabling it. Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with tabling it.
Two for table. What do you say?
I say let's vote.
Did he make a motion?
I make a motion to table it, not saying for it to go away, give us some time to look into it.
And I'll second it.
You want to table it till the next meeting? If you just table it, it automatically goes to the next agenda unless you give me a date.
I would like a little more time than that.
So you
Then
want
the next meeting?
When is that?
the first of, like the first week of October, the next regular meeting in October?
That'd be fine.
And I'll second it.
If I can get what I requested from HR by then.
Have a motion and a second to table it to the next meeting. Call the roll.
Butler?
No.
Abernathy?
No.
Higginbottom? No.
Leonard?
Yes.
Wagoner?
I got split decision here now. I'm gonna say yes.
Sampson?
Yes.
North?
Yes.
Wright? Yes.
At 4-4?
No. 5-3.
It's 5-3. To table it. Item number 32, consider obtaining an appraisal of the following described tracts, individually or combined at the discretion of the council. Tract 3 of Wagoner Corner subdivision, a subdivision of part of the northeast quarter of the northwest quarter of Section 16, Township 17 North, Range 18 east of the Indian Basin Meridian, Wagoner County, State of Oklahoma, and a parcel of land in Tract 1 of Wagoner Corner subdivision, a subdivision of part of the northeast quarter of the northwest quarter of Section 16, Township 17 North, Range 18 east of the Indian Basin Meridian, Wagoner County, State of Oklahoma, more particularly described as follows. Beginning at the southeast corner of Tract 3 of said subdivision, thence north 89 degrees, 19 feet, 29 inches east to the easterly boundary of said subdivision. Thence northwesterly on a curve to the left and along said easterly boundary till to the northeast corner of said tract 3. Thence south 0 degrees, 40 feet, 31 inches east, and along the east line of said tract 3, a distance of 162.09 feet to the southeast corner of said tract 3 and the point of beginning, or take other action.
So there's several people that are interested in purchasing this property from the city. This would be the lot to the north of Walmart, in between Medwise and Quick Trip. At one time, the city had interest with the bank in doing a land swap, which would lead to some property that would lead to potentially a new city hall. I wish we could, but each one of you have seen the budget. And unless we take out loans and go into debt, I don't see us being able to trade that to build a new city hall. I would much rather sell and put money in the bank. So the other person that has interest in it, they're wanting to put 3 businesses on that tract. They are aware of deed restrictions, things like that. Doesn't spook them off. But first, before we move any further, we need to get an appraisal. I know there's been talks with realtors before on previous property about getting a quote, but we have to have an appraisal by law to sell it.
Shouldn't, just this question, shouldn't this be like an economic development or something like that? Shouldn't this property be underneath them or?
No. The city was at one time owned by an individual that then gave it to the University of Tennessee, then in return gave it to us. And I'm not quite sure 100% how the Fort Gibson Lake Association wound up with theirs.
I don't remember.
Discussion?
But they saying the land between Midwise and QT, and also they talk about how they don't understand how Fort Gibson Lake Association got their building. And that land they trying to get appraisal for, so right now, we don't know what to do with it.
Further discussion? Entertain a motion?
What's the motion?
What is it drafted, whether or not you want, okay. Track 3 is a tract immediately east of Medwise. There's a triangular tract between track 3 and the Fort Gibson Lake Association. It's pretty good size. I mean, it's not as big as track 3. When I drafted this, I didn't know whether or not you would want to have them appraised individually, together, or both ways. So if you decide you want to vote in favor of the motion, I would ask you to determine how you want the appraisal to be. I don't know the exact use of the property, so I don't have any thoughts on that at all.
I would recommend appraisal separate, but having both appraised.
So 3 appraisals, 1 for each track and 1 for all, okay.
Further discussion?
On the appraisal, I mean, like, could a real estate person do that, or do we have our appraisal?
Appraiser.
Appraiser. Okay, is there nobody here? Okay, I got you. I got it.
Depends. So
Okay.
with the warehouse on Main Street,
Mm-hmm.
we went to Chip Nanny. He did not want to do that. What do you got, Kenneth?
We don't have a commercial appraiser in the city of Wagoner.
So that's, Kenneth said or excuse me, Mr. Nanny said that he didn't appraise those type of properties. So who we went with was with a company out of Tulsa. Russell recommended them, said Armstrong Bank uses them quite often. They were a very reputable business. So that's who we went with on that one.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Go
Who was my second on that motion?
ahead. Shane.
Shane, okay, thank you. Item number 33 is unscheduled public appearances.
First off, we have Diana D.D. Tedder.
Thank you for hearing me. I'm interested, first of all, I've been living in Bollinger Addition for 47 years, and we've never had our roads retopped. And myself, I hit a big ditch that comes into the end of my street, and it's about 2 feet deep, 4 feet wide, and we have to come way into the center to turn in. But I hit the bottom there and hit my oil pan. But it's all in sections like puzzle pieces. I mean, and it's all coming up that way. And it's been filled in several times. But the thing is that I don't think that just a retopping is going to make it now. I think it's going to take a relaying.
What street do you live on?
On 14th Place, but all of Bollinger Addition is puzzle pieces. And I took 20 pictures today alone, and there's chug hose anywhere from 6 inches deep to 8 inches deep. I measured them, and then I found 32 potholes, and they've been putting them in, filling them during the years of 47 years I've lived there. But I think it's to the point, I understand y'all's been trying to get a grant to
So we
take care of it.
we weren't awarded the grant. There was some issues with the audit, but
Okay, well, we have a lot of semi-trucks that coming in on Hayes behind the Meats and More and all those places there. And we had one T-bone accident there because of the trucks. When I first moved there 47 years ago, they had a signs up that said, "No through trucks." Well, I understand the necessity of these companies needing those semis to come and unload because the front of their establishments does not have proper driveways and stuff for these diesel trucks. But it's caused some accidents, and it just, I don't know what the solution for that would be, but I do know that those semis have made ruts. We had one semi about 5 months ago that had got jackknifed there trying to come out. And down at the end of my street where I hit that big hole, it's 2 feet deep and 4 feet wide and 8 feet in length. And like I said, you have to go way into the inside of the other side of the street in order to make your right turn to come in 14th Place. My backyard hits 15th Place, and my front yard is on 14th. But we have had like many diesels come through there, and it's causing I've got pictures of puzzle pieces this big around, and I literally, the other day, when I was following a semi, I had to get out of my car because he hit a big piece of that puzzle, and it flew up in the air and came back down, so I just stopped the car and tried to put that puzzle piece back in there so we wouldn't have, another pothole. But we really need somebody to come out there and fill all those holes, because it's getting worn down. When you hit one, you bottom out, or it hits that tire real hard, and I'm afraid there's going to be some more flats. We had a lady down the street who did have a flat over it, but
We know, we wholeheartedly know. I mean, that's why we're chasing that grant to do Bennett, sorry, not Bennett, Bollinger.
yes.
But, I'll get with our street department manager, Thomas. He's here. And so we'll take a look at that to see if we can try to patch it along till next year, because we know it needs some loving.
Yes, it does. And like I said, I'm hoping it'll be a relay instead, a laying of the pavement, because there's no way they're going to get a smooth run on top of it if they just retop it. But I was just wanting to know where the status was on getting the grant, so I can go back and tell all the neighbors.
We did not receive the grant.
So you're going to reapply, or?
Oh, yes, we'll definitely reapply if it's reoffered. It was an EODD grant. Urge you and your neighbors to attend the meetings, because when they come for a grant, they have a sign-in sheet at our monthly meeting. Matter of fact, I stood up there this evening hollering to see if anybody wanted to sign up to speak. I also have everybody sign in for that grant.
Okay. So, but you don't have any idea how long it'll be, but could we please get somebody there to fill in some of
Well,
those holes?
that's like I said, he's here, and
Good.
so I'm sure we'll be looking at that very soon. But we know that's why we chased that grant for that addition.
Okay, because I've had a couple of incidences on hitting the bottom out on my car coming. If there's a car come this way, I'm forced to go into that hole to turn into my neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tedder. Next up is Jim Cobb.
I don't think I'll need a microphone.
Oh, please speak into the microphone.
I can hear you.
I think a misconception on my part is to the mission, or nobody seems to know the mission that we done. We talked about doing all that stuff with it earlier, and I've never heard a clear mission of what we are supposed to do. And I think that needs to be defined, and we're trying to put the trust in. And I attended a WPWA meeting, and they didn't seem to really be clear. They were concerned about going to have to go back to the city council. But apparently they have to go to the city council for approval on everything. So I can't see the need, from my personal view, of having a committee called WPWA. If they have to come to the council for everything, you folks need to make the decisions. And y'all need to be handling the business. I thought, in my conception of WPWA, when they first started, was to bring businesses into town. And now I'm getting the impression that they're a property holder. I know they bought a lot of properties around town, and I'm going.
Mr. Cobb, this is the city. This isn't WPWA. I can't speak for WPWA. Well, we don't know that yet. We don't know that yet. We voted to start the paperwork to make a trust.
Okay. Where can I find out about that? Where can I find out? I got a lot of the city stuff. I'm having trouble, and it upsets all you folks because I complain about it, but I can't hear it. And it's not your fault, I'm hard of hearing. I'll agree to that. But I want to know, can you people go back to the meeting, have you heard what's going on?
I tell you what, Mr. Cobb, will we decide that, I'll call you.
We need something done. I would like to watch this from my television at home and not have to bother you folks. but you can't hear it on TV, you can't hear it on the internet. And it's supposed to be a public forum, and I'm very confused on what's going on tonight. A lot of it, some of it, you got into the microphones and I can understand. Others, a lot of asides here and there, and if it's a public forum, the people on the TV end need to be able to hear it. I would just ask that we do something about that.
Anything else, Mr. Cobb?
I think that's it. I think that's about enough.
Appreciate your time. Next up is Kim Davis.
I'm going to talk about WEDA too, so y'all
Just
might
please
as
do
well
it in the microphone.
get used to it. I took the time to do a pretty in-depth analysis on a property that was in question that the city was looking at selling. And I mailed it to each one of you. I hope you all got it. I didn't get it to you, Mr. Shane, but I have a copy if you'd like it. The purpose of a economic development board is you set standards, and it's a community involvement. It absolutely is a it is in Wagoner. It is a board, and it may very well be, however we choose to do it with the city council. But it's a process in which communities work to improve the well-being and the quality of the life of their citizens through economic growth, fostering innovation, generating jobs, increasing revenues, which therefore help to improve the infrastructure of our town. It has to be done in a way that aligns with the community's vision and values. And what I see and what I feel is there's not a good combination of this and this, whether it's WEDA, whether it's the city council. When I wrote that letter, I looked at how can I express to you what my opinion is until after you've met and voted on whatever I might have to say and get on the agenda for something that I don't even necessarily know that I might want to talk about. So we've got to fix that. We have to fix those opportunities for you as voted in individuals to hear from, I don't even get to vote, but I have a business here, I'm a business owner. Everything in this town affects what I do, so it's important. I have reached out to Dalton, to our city and set up meetings. We've worked together to kind of bring some things together, but it's just not easy to do, and I think we need to improve that. I think all of us need to do a better job. I do not think that a business proposition needs to be handled in a text message. I think it goes full circle back to what Patrick said. We've got to have some processes. My background's process management, so that's what I look for. What's the process? If this isn't working, how do I address that? What do I do? How do I fix that? How do I bridge this gap? And I think that's seriously lacking in what I see in the opportunity to speak up, to not be a keyboard warrior, which I'm not, but I think you get these things that grow completely out of proportion when you don't have the opportunity to be heard. Thank you.
Thank you. That was it on unscheduled public appearances.
Item number 34 is departmental reports.
Ma'am, to address your question about Bollinger, we did have that in there for the, in regards to the asphalt. We had planned on doing a mill and fill, but we did not have the audit done in time, so we could not put our application in January. It got kicked out because we didn't have a final audit. So hopefully we are able to get our city audit done by December this year, so by the end of the fiscal year in 2024. So therefore, that will allow us to resubmit for the application in January for that addition in Bollinger. We fully intend to not just go in there and patch, but actually do a mill and fill, which is to tear it up and actually relay it back over. That's the intended process, okay? You're welcome. As for the rest of the things, ladies and gentlemen of the county, or council, if you'll notice out in front of us on Church Street, I mean, we got some highlighted lines on Church Street, up Casper as well with the stormwater project that we're fixing to kick full gear. We're waiting on ONG to get out of our way down on Third Street. It's been pretty much a big construction zone down there for the last couple of weeks, but they're about done lowering those lines so we can continue forward with our stormwater project into that aspect. Wagoner Willows also is moving forward with Phase 2. If you'll notice in your report, they're hung up on some issues with the Corps of Engineers, but they're continuing forward and fixing to start their infrastructure installation. The pipe replacement has been talked about and throughout in the city. I mean, we've done a lot of stormwater pipe replacements in different parts of the city, replacing tin horns, even cementing some of the head walls in, trying to help do a better beneficial conversation in regards to our stormwater runoff that we're dealing with, and we're continuing to try to improve that throughout the city. In regards to that, I don't know how many's been up by the cemetery. We have, in this last week, have started staking out and getting those rows lined out with the addition of the new cemetery plots that are coming to play. We know that's needed. We know a lot of people are needing that as well. It's a process we gotta get through, and it takes time, but we had a surveyor up there staking it out, so the street department guys, in addition to a lot of other things they're doing in cooperation with cemetery guys, are trying to get cemetery Phase 2 up and running with a new addition. So that's a pretty good overview of what's taking place in the city for the last month, and we continue to move forward.
Thank you, sir.
Discussion?
Item number 35 is adjournment.
So made.
Second.
Have a motion second. Please call the roll.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Sampson.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 9:04. I'd like to call the Wagoner Public Works Authority regular business meeting September 3rd at 9:04.
Mary Jane.
Thank you.
Item number 1, consider approval of the minutes of August 5th, 2024.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
Make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
North.
Abstain.
Thank you. Item number 2, consider approval or denial of claims for August 2024 to include WPWA, to include numbers 22 through 38, which are manual warrants.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Sampson,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Item number 3 is the chairman's report.
One thing I did forget on my mayor's report is the city fall cleanup days. That'll be October 5th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It will be closed on Sunday, October 6th. And then Monday, is that Monday through Friday, Thomas?
Yeah.
Okay, but the times, so Monday through Friday, the 7th through the 11th, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then the following day on Saturday, the 12th, October 12th, at 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. That is on the warehouse lot at Southeast 3rd Street, so that'll be there in Main, right there at that intersection, right? There's more info I'm sure it's on the city website. That'll be all I have in the mayor's report.
Yeah, it's on
Or
the
excuse-
website.
excuse
We
me,
also have flyers
chairman's.
available at both offices. There's flyers with information as well. Item number 4, consider approval of work order number WAG 24-08, water treatment plant residuals removal in the amount of $5,000 from Infrastructure Solutions Group, LLC, consulting engineers, or take other action.
Let's take a recess so Larry can take care of this for just a few. I'd like to enter recess at 9:07. Thank you.
Don't be gone long.
She can do that.
This is 2 minutes.
And my meeting is just about over. All right, fine. See that? Yeah, call the police. The other ones.
Do you need to go, Larry?
Yes.
Go,
Yeah, just go ahead and go.
go, there ain't nothing on there. If we praying, you okay?
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it.
If you need me, call me.
You need to leave that there? If you want to leave it here, I'll put it in my office.
I got it, I'm going to.
Okay.
Okay,
You want me to put it in my office?
No.
Okay.
all right. If anything, let us know.
Okay. Sounds good.
Big stick. Okay, be careful.
Got to go.
All right.
God bless you, Larry.
Holler at him again, Gayla.
Hmm?
Holler at Patrick.
Patrick. That was pretty good there.
Good and in the microphone.
That was good. What'd you say?
I'll call you.
I love this.
That's better than 1 foot in the grave.
Look. That's right, that's right.
Okay. We will go back in session without Counselor Abernathy at 9:09.
I'm just making
You're fine.
notes.
You're fine.
Okay, we are on item number 4. Consider approval of work order number WAG 24-08, water treatment plant residuals removal in the amount of $5,000 from Infrastructure Solutions Group, LLC, consulting engineers, or take other action.
Board, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is for removal of residuals out of one of the 3 ponds out at the water plant. It's pretty full, okay? It's something we've been looking at for a while to do. And so this is what this is for, is to prepare bidding documents, go out for bids, and select a contractor to bring back to the board for approval.
I just had a question. Is this and Mr. Elam, is this the same thing, as far as, was it like a year or so we had a couple of companies that came through, and was it for wastewater, or was it for that they had like some, I don't know if it was like a. Enzymes? Yeah, enzymes. Okay. Okay. But kind of the same concept, right, or is it has to be different because of EDQ or whatever?
Ability to be the same concept, but
Okay.
it's a different process.
Gotcha. Okay.
Further discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made.
Second.
Have a motion second. Please call the roll.
Butler,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 5, consider ending the probation period on the following employees or take other action. In water distribution, Patrick Moore, and water distribution, Carl Hill.
This is Joe's, correct?
Yeah, Joe's not here tonight, so I'll carry the water for him. I recommend to take Patrick Moore off of probation, effective September 3rd, 2024, at a rate of $16.32, which is a rate of pay of no change.
What was the hire date?
I can't answer that, Ms. Wright. I don't know the hire date.
6 months ago?
Yeah.
I know Carl been here for a while.
Approximately 9 months ago on Patrick, I believe, and 6 months on, 7 months on Carl.
I believe his probation had been
Patrick's
extended.
been here longer than
Yeah.
Carl. Entertain a motion?
So made.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Wright,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Butler,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Carl Hill, I'd make a recommendation to end his probation at a rate of pay of $15.90, effective September 3rd, 2024. Again, no change in pay.
Is there a reason on the no change of pay for either one?
Yes, because we hire him in at a set pay prior when we get hired in versus having an off probationary period like we used to do. So we're giving them more money up front.
Okay.
Is what we're basically doing in the long stint.
Is there a standard probation time?
6 months.
And these people have been here a lot longer?
Chances are, if they have, their supervisor has not brought it to the attention that he wants to bring to council to get them off probation, so they probably have been extended with their probation because they haven't met the requirements or job specification and duties of what that supervisor thinks they need to be able to do to come off probation.
I make that motion for Carl Hill.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Butler,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
Item number 6, consider approval of resolution number 2401, a resolution adopting amendments to the budget for the Wagoner Public Works Authority for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025, to include supplemental appropriations available from revenue received from unanticipated resources.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
So made.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
North,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
Item number 7, consider accepting the bid and entering into a contract with Envision Civil Contractors LLC in the amount of $181,898 for WAG 23-06 Cassiver Drainage Project cast-in-place concrete junction boxes per recommendation from Infrastructure Solutions Group LLC Consulting Engineers, or take other action.
Discussion? Entertain a motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Butler,
Yes.
Higginbottom,
Yes.
North,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Leonard,
Yes.
Wagoner,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 8, consider approval of resolution number 2402, a resolution establishing the permitted use of Wagoner Public Works Authority owned or leased vehicles, or take other action.
Table this on the city to the next meeting.
Make that motion, yes.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second to table it to.
To
next month's
October.
meeting. Please call the roll.
Butler.
No.
Higginbottom.
No.
Sampson.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Item number 9 is unscheduled public appearances.
There were none.
Item number 10 is departmental reports.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, just a few updates. As we always go through the wastewater distribution department, I'm going to highlight this month. They've been busy with jetting a lot of lines and raising manholes throughout town. Believe it or not, we still have some manholes in the city that are covered up by asphalt from years ago in the process of what they did. Also, I would like to take this time, the gentleman is in the audience tonight as well, but Mr. Brad Rees at the wastewater plant made a big accomplishment of passing his B wastewater license. That's a big hurdle. When you get up past C and Ds, when you get up past D and Cs, and especially in Bs, and absolutely in the As, that's a big feat. So those are no tests to be untaken lightly for, and not very many people have Bs, let alone As, in the state of Oklahoma. Last but not least, I do want to acknowledge the Wagoner County Commissioners for helping and going in partnership with the City of Wagoner and the Maple Park Water Tower. I think it looks exceptionally great, just in time for our football season. Although we have not got it operational from the inside perspective, they're still working on it from the inside. The outside looks 10 times to 100 times fold better than what it has. I've wanted to address that particular tower for the last 3 years, but financial funds and not enough being capital intensive with Wagoner Public Works Authority. There's just lots of dollars and lots of things that need to be accomplished with utilities, and it's capital intensive. But I think, and I appreciate the county commissioners for partnering with the City of Wagoner, and I think it's turned out great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any discussion?
Item number 11 is adjournment.
So made.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Butler.
Yes.
Wagoner.
Yes.
Leonard.
Yes.
Higginbottom.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
Wright. Sampson.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 9:19.